Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our first ever Spring Staff Assembly at Vanderbilt University. I'm Eric Kopstein, Vice Chancellor for Administration, and I'm so pleased to welcome all of you watching today. We're here today to celebrate you, Vanderbilt staff, and all the things you do to make our university great. We're also here to celebrate our remarkable progress during an academic year that tested us and all of humanity in unprecedented ways, and throughout which Vanderbilt staff proudly stepped up. This kind of progress is made possible when people with a diverse set of backgrounds and talents truly come together, united by a common purpose and a desire to create an environment in which we can all thrive. No matter where you work or what your role at Vanderbilt, your contributions drive our mission to educate the leaders of tomorrow and to advance the research and scholarship that make the world a better place. Thank you for your fantastic work and for the great energy, the enthusiasm, the commitment and compassion that you bring to your work every day. Today's program will begin with an address by Chancellor Daniel Diermeier. Then we'll hear remarks from incoming USAC President Tiffany Lawrence Givens, followed by special presentations from Faculty Senate Vice Chair Ben Harris and Board of Trust Chairman Bruce Evans. Finally, Chancellor Diermeier and Vice Chancellor for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Andre Churchwell will present the Spring Awards, including the annual Commodore Award and the Diversity Leadership Award, and 3 new awards, which Chancellor Diermeier will describe. We'll hear inspiring stories about the winning individuals and teams, about their hard work and accomplishments, and the great measures of respect and appreciation they've gained among the colleagues and leaders who nominated them and within our broader Vanderbilt community. I'm excited to share these points of pride with you, which represent a small sample of all the great things we do together at Vanderbilt. So now, please join me in welcoming Chancellor Diermeier.
Thank you, Eric, for this kind introduction, and welcome all of you to our first Vanderbilt Spring Staff Assembly. We're proud here to come together to honor the remarkable dedication of Vanderbilt staff and celebrate what our staff have achieved in the year like no other in Vanderbilt's history. We also come together to recognize our staff now in this new twice-a-year tradition, beginning with the first Fall Assembly, celebrated in October, in which we presented the Anchor Down Step Up Awards. And today we will present the Commodore Award, the Diversity Leadership Award, as well as a new series of annual awards that we now will present each spring. Those include the Vanderbilt Early Impact Award, the Mentorship Excellence Award, and the One Vanderbilt Excellence Award. The purpose of our assemblies, and specifically now the Spring Assembly, is to celebrate the commitment that our Vanderbilt staff demonstrates every day, to their hard work and willingness to step up to challenges, their consistent dedication to excellence, and to raising the bar ever higher. They also serve as leading ambassadors and manifestation of our One Vanderbilt culture, reaching across boundaries to work together, innovate, and grow as one community with one common purpose. Staff are integral to our mission here at Vanderbilt. Our world-class scholarship and research, which saves life this year and drives positive change in society, which is needed ever more urgently in a time of deep polarization and divisive political discourse, as well as ever new urgent global threats. Our commitment to providing a transformative and empowering education to all deserving students and creating leaders of tomorrow, none of these things would be possible without our staff, who not only supports our critical operations, but they live by these values in their day-to-day lives and are ambassadors of Vanderbilt's missions and its story in the world and in our community. Today, our awards demonstrate our commitment to our staff. We recognize those who've gone above and beyond what was expected of them, fostering an environment that inspires everyone to achieve the full potential to professional growth. And it's very important that we have these assemblies because they remind us that we're part of one community, that we can come together as one, pause, reflect on what has been accomplished during the year, take stock of our accomplishments, and savor our proudest moments. This was a year unlike any other. While many of us were working remotely during the year, staff was critical to our successful efforts to invite students back to campus, open labs this year, and then of course culminating in the very successful and really unprecedented commencement ceremonies for the class of 2020 and 2021 that we celebrated during last weekends and 2 weeks earlier. Staff was key to our resilience and our progress throughout this very challenging year. And we have to remember that during last year, we really faced a variety of crises all happening at the same time. The first, of course, was a public health crisis, tremendous loss of life. And if you think about it, what that meant, not only for the country, but for the world, but for Vanderbilt, it really meant we had to entirely invent a new model of education and research on the spot, because our old model that had served us well for over 2,000 years, if you go back to Plato, or since 1088 to the University of Bologna, that model suddenly overnight, over a weekend, no longer was possible, and we had to create something new. Financially, and that's really the second crisis that we want to be aware of, the impact on higher education was devastating. It was the biggest impact on higher education in modern times. We lost around 650,000 jobs during the last year due to the pandemic. That's roughly 1 in 8 jobs in higher education. A devastating impact. Higher education, as a matter of fact, was one of the most heavily impacted industries across the country. And then the third crisis, a moral crisis. Polarization, racial injustice, highlighted, brought to the forefront by the murder of George Floyd and so many others, called us to affirm our core values in a politically contentious climate and to respond in the moment to serious issues of human rights and injustice. This was one of the most challenging years in Vanderbilt's almost 150-year history. The strain was substantial on all of us. There were high demands on energy and time, and our staff and our faculty worked tirelessly, some working long hours, 14, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, often sacrificing days off, holidays, vacation time. And they adapted to working together in a new environment, in different modalities, while balancing obligations at work with the difficulty and strains at home. At the same time, the work that was going on at the university, research and transformative education to students, was uniquely critical, and it really saved lives. We saw this particularly in the biomedical side, where we are so proud of the research that Vanderbilt and Vanderbilt University Medical Center have contributed to fighting COVID-19. But the reason we were able to get it done were the values and exceptional qualities that characterize Vanderbilt. We are one community, we support each other, and we're able to work across boundaries, united by one common purpose and grounded in a common set of values. And I experienced this very directly in many instances, and many of them really occurred during a little management technique that I just kind of stumbled upon and used during these difficult times. I was called management by Zoom bombing. And what that meant is that I would suddenly show up at one of the team meetings unannounced and with the singular purpose of thanking the team for the tremendous work that they have been doing in order to support our university. And what I experienced during these times again and again, I could see the pride that our team members brought to their specific challenges, to their specific work, and their unity as members of one community. One of them I will never forget. I participated in one specific team meeting, and the leader of the team said, we have people here from 14 different parts of the university, but we forgot where everybody came from. And that to me really exemplified what our culture is all about. When we started this journey, we were motivated by one principle, our mission. We are a residential college. We believe in residential education, and we are one of the world's great research universities. And that purpose guided us in every decision that we made. That meant we never asked whether we should invite our students back to create a residential education as much as we could in the context of COVID-19. The question always was, how would we do it? How would we reopen classrooms and labs safely? How would we rethink dining operations? How would we rethink residential colleges? How would we rethink every aspect of our operations? How would we transform planned operations? All with one goal: to create an environment where our students and our faculty can thrive, where we can create an environment where our athletes can compete and our musicians perform and our artists create. And we found the ways through remarkable ingenuity, profound dedication, and collaboration. Our staff embraced new models, navigated uncertainty, put others first like never before, and came up with new solutions to problems that none of us imagined necessary even a year and a half ago. And together, all of this made this year our proudest moment in the history of the university and an important time in human history. We made great plans. We worked very hard to putting a strategy together to deal with the pandemic. But at the end of the day, success would not have been possible without your commitment every day to put this university's, its purpose, and its people first. We would not have been able to do this without your tireless commitment and your hard work day to day. I mentioned before that this was never more clear and clearer on display when we look at the research breakthroughs that happened last year. Many of you will know that Vanderbilt and its faculty played a leading role in vaccine development, as Dr. Fauci noted in his remarks on Graduates Day, a point of pride to be shared by all of us during these difficult times. The same was true for new therapeutics, for clinical breakthroughs, for responses on the public health side, and so many other dimensions. And then there's also the continued leadership on the moral crisis. For example, through our Unity project, which panelists addressing racial violence and injustice and ongoing EDI initiatives on our own campus and throughout our community. And all of this was accompanied by a severe financial strain on our university and higher education in general. As I said before, this is the biggest crisis that higher education has faced in modern times. And yet, throughout, due to our dedicated work and the great, strong financial leadership of Chancellor Emeritus Nicholas Zeppes and Interim Chancellor and Provost Susan Venti, we were in a strong position compared to many of our peers. Our balance sheet was healthy, and make no mistake, we had to do many painful things, but we were able to avoid the drastic budget cuts, mass layoffs, or furloughs that many of our peers had to go through. We did not have to set aside retirement contributions. We had to tighten our belt, allocated funds to the necessary safety equipment, COVID testing, and so forth. But we were able to do this without doing the drastic financial sacrifices that were required by many other institutions who did not adapt as well to these challenges. So everybody was suffering, but we were suffering less. We have now reinstated annual salary increases, and we have maintained our commitment to recruit top talent throughout this period. It's very important that even during difficult times, we do not want to stop adding talent to the university, because our people, our greatest competitive advantage, that will pay off and yield benefits for years to come. And all of this culminated, all of our hard work, all of our dedication, all of our focus, all of our ingenuity culminated in the 2020 and 21 commencement. It was a monumental scope of work, and it required a tremendous amount of organizations. If you watch the videos, one of the members of our communications team mentioned that usually we have 8 months to prepare for commencement. And this time we said, well, you got 2.5 months. Oh, and by the way, it has to be in a totally different setting with a totally different structure. And it has to be done according to public health and safety guidelines. Oh yeah, and we're gonna do 2 of them. And what they did, they took it on, they stepped up, and they did the impossible. That was the heart, and another example of the heart and the commitment of so many of our staff members. For example, at the Posse Scholars graduation celebration, which I had the privilege to attend, plant ops, once all seats were set out and the tent was laid out, clapped for and celebrated every single of the graduates as they walked across the stage to make it an even more special moment for them. At the Peabody College ceremony, Next Steps students who are part of a post-secondary program for students with intellectual disabilities proudly walked across the stage with their family, all thanks to the hard work of Next Step Director Tammy Day and other staff members at Peabody College, who made sure these students were recognized for their achievements. And on Sunday, after a member of the law school class of 2021 ended up in the hospital and had to unexpectedly miss graduation at the last moment, Chris Myers, Director of Student Affairs at the law school, brought a surprise ceremony to that student at VUMC. Chris orchestrated to bring the students' friends and families, along with the dean, other senior leader, to the courtyard and hospital so that this student and his family could celebrate their commencement together. Moments of these remind us all how Vanderbilt staff are equal parts heart and hard work. As we head into the summer, we want to reflect back on these moments with pride and with gratefulness. And then we want to also take the time to rest and recharge, because this was quite a year. We have worked incredibly hard this year. We need to celebrate and find the time to do so, and also find the time to have much needed rejuvenation for body, mind, and spirit. So please do enjoy the extra administrative days on May 28th and July 2nd. And coming out of the pandemic, it's important that you take the opportunity to have quality time with your loved ones, from whom we may have been distanced for such a long time. As we look to the next chapter, returning hopefully to some semblance of normalcy and building on the current momentum as we're pursuing new goals, we enjoy a sense of optimism and shared pride, all knowing that we will never forget the difficulties that this year has brought and the hard work and dedication of Vanderbilt staff. Thank you. And in a few moments, we will recognize the staff members with a list of awards that I mentioned before. It's important to understand that these accomplishments that we will recognize today comprise only an example of the exceptional contributions of all of our Vanderbilt staff every single day and over an entire year. So I want to say to all of our staff, thank you for stepping up and for all that you do every day and for an entire year. And I will now hand it over to incoming USAC President Tiffany Lawrence Givens.
Thank you, Chancellor Diermeier, and thank you to all who are joining us virtually for our inaugural Spring Staff Assembly. I am grateful to the Chancellor and his team for hosting this event. As many continue to work remotely while others return to campus, our staff members have successfully pivoted and excelled when others would have stumbled. I am honored to be a part of this assembly and our One Vanderbilt community. As Chancellor Diermeier mentioned, I am the 2021-22 president of our University Staff Advisory Council, also known as USAC. This is a position I started 2 months earlier than expected because our previous president, Caroline Johnston, had a beautiful baby girl late last month. Both baby and mom are doing great. With Caroline's permission, I share this because while the past 14 months have been far more difficult than typical, I want to celebrate one of the amazing events that happened, the birth of Ellie Johnston. Congratulations, Caroline. The video we will watch next highlights other memorable moments, including Caroline's address to the Board of Trust, footage from around campus throughout the year, and segments from the Show of Gratitude event in December. I hope you enjoy.
Over the past year, it has been my honor to serve as president of USAC. While it has been far from traditional, there are many points of partnership, progress, and pride for USAC and staff as a whole. USAC is proud to collaborate with the Chancellor's Office on a new initiative, Staff Assemblies. These opportunities for us to come together formally twice a year as staff members is especially meaningful as many of us continue to work remotely. These gatherings allow for reflection, celebration, and honoring colleagues. Set alongside the successes for USAC this year, I'm in constant awe of the resiliency and commitment of staff to all facets of Vanderbilt.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing well, how are you?
I remain ever confident in the ability of USAC to make a difference in the lives of our staff members.
Maybe it's much too early in the game, but I'm gonna pop that question just the same. And as we come to the end of this year, we're here to celebrate you and what you have accomplished this year, along with what we have to look forward to in the new year.
I graduated class of 2020!
Yeah!
How exciting is this day?
Very exciting. It's a beautiful sunny day. We have these amazing 2020 graduates.
We start planning for commencement about September each year. We start with letting the graduates and their parents know that they're eligible to participate in May.
This is not a typical year.
This year we weren't sure if we were even going to be able to have graduates in person.
We had about 3 months to plan a safe and socially distant commencement ceremony for both classes, class of 2020 and class of 2021.
This ceremony is now concluded.
Everyone on campus, including our team, has just such a passion for these students. We want to make sure that they can have the best day that they possibly can.
Vanderbilt, we did it. Anchor down.
What a wonderful review. In this unprecedented year, USAC has remained committed to serving Vanderbilt staff. And now I want to look back at a few of our key successes. USAC is an elected body comprised of approximately 100 members in 20 groups, representing all areas of staff in non-union roles across the campus. We work with university administration and the staff community to resolve problems, recommend policies, and advance best practices. Per our bylaws, our 5-year reapportionment process happened this fiscal year. The membership committee reviewed the makeup of USAC to ensure that staff representation is equitable and groups are comprised of aligned offices. The resulting changes will be effective July 1st, causing groups to realign and the reshaping of representative counts within groups. Our Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, EDI, ad hoc committee developed a proposal to observe Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth as paid holidays that was approved by USAC and submitted to university leadership. We are thrilled that Chancellor Diermeier partially accepted this proposal, establishing Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a paid staff holiday. Additionally, the EDI community collaborated with Dr. Churchwell and the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion to kick off the Heritage Calendar Project. Because of donations from many of you, our events committee raised over $5,300 during our virtual Second Harvest food drive, providing 21,000 meals to families in need. The committee also hosted their first virtual coffee break in November. These breaks occur twice a month, providing staff the opportunity to meet others from around campus in a relaxed virtual environment. Our communication committee made several enhancements to our website, including updating our FAQ page to serve as a clear and accurate resource for staff, linking many questions directly back to the expert's website. Additionally, they developed a social media request form. If you have an event, activity, or resource that is relevant to university staff that would benefit from promotion via USAC social media channels, please make a request. After submitting their professional development proposal, our Staff Life Committee has been working closely with the Human Resources, Employee Learning, and Organizational Effectiveness team to enhance opportunities related to professional development, ensuring staff members can reach their full potential. The Employee Hardship Fund is an excellent resource for any full-time employee who is experiencing a temporary hardship. During the current fiscal year, the Employee Hardship Fund has raised just over $4,600. However, as you might imagine, with tornadoes, COVID-19, job losses, ice storms, and more, this has been a record year for requests, and the fund is in desperate need of donations. If you have not already, please sign up for the Kroger Community Rewards Program, which contributes a portion of your purchases to our Employee Hardship Fund. Additionally, if you are able, you can mail cash or check donations to the VU Hardship Fund, care of Work-Life Connections, EAP, Vanderbilt University Medical Arts Building, Suite 010, Nashville, Tennessee, 37212. What's ahead for USAC? As an advisory group to the university focused on issues affecting Vanderbilt and those served by USAC, we do not take the summer off. In the coming months, our Staff Life Committee will present their parental leave proposal to USAC. Once approved, it will go to leadership for their review. Our events committee will continue to host their virtual coffee breaks throughout the summer. Additionally, they are looking forward to planning in-person events as soon as possible. In July, our EDI committee moves from ad hoc status to a standing committee and is working on proposals that encourage and foster inclusion within our community. Our group representatives serve 2-year terms, with even group elections happening in even years and odd group elections happening in odd years. As we wrap up an odd group election season, we will welcome our newly elected members for their 21-23 term in July. Stay connected with all that has happened in USAC and is happening using our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check out our website to identify your group representatives and view meeting recordings and minutes. We also welcome you to submit comments about what is going well around campus and what could possibly be improved. Your voice matters. As we enter the summer months, I encourage you to continue your involvement in your area, on campus, and within the greater community. Involvement looks different for each of us, ranging from participating in Walking Wednesdays offered by Health Plus, serving on a committee, celebrating Juneteenth at a cookout at the Black Cultural Center, attending a Women's Center workshop, or any of the other countless opportunities presented to us as members of the Vanderbilt community. Most importantly, I hope you take care of yourself and are able to do the things in which you find joy. Vanderbilt's three-legged stool, consisting of faculty, staff, and students, cannot stand without us, the staff. I thank you for all that you do, and I look forward to seeing you on campus soon. Next, we have presentations from 2 very special guests. First, you will hear from Ben Harris, Vice Chair of Vanderbilt's Faculty Senate and Senior Lecturer at the Blair School of Music. Then, we are extremely proud to welcome Bruce Evans, Chairman of Vanderbilt University's Board of Trust, who will read a special recognition to the university staff from the Board of Trust. With that, I welcome Ben to the podium.
Thank you, Tiffany. A few weeks ago, with the end of this most unusual academic year almost in sight, Faculty Senate Chair Catherine McTammany and I began to reflect on the partners that have stood shoulder to shoulder with us in the midst of adversity, yet maintained those essential Vanderbilt values of open inquiry, equality, compassion, and excellence. First on that list of partners are you, our staff colleagues and peers. In humble recognition of your dedication and effort, Catherine, the Faculty Senate, and I offer the following resolution. Whereas the staff of Vanderbilt University have faced the challenges of the last years with extraordinary courage and resolve, and whereas staff have maintained missional integrity despite employment uncertainty and fiscal restrictions, and provided support services deemed essential in storms and in plagues, and have repeatedly sacrificed nights and weekends, often with no end in sight, and have exhibited grace in the face of relentless pressure from faculty, students, parents, and administration. And whereas staff have matched seemingly impossible demands with ingenious solutions and a refusal to capitulate. And whereas staff have shown professional poise in the midst of radical impacts to their homes, including new demands as parents, caregivers, spouses, partners. And whereas staff have nonetheless prioritized the collective good over their individual needs. Be it resolved that the Vanderbilt University Faculty Senate honors its staff colleagues and extends profound gratitude to these esteemed and invaluable partners. USAC President Givens, Chancellor Diermeier, Vice Chancellor Kopstein, Vice Chancellor Churchwell, thank you for welcoming me here today to share in this special time of celebration and recognition. And now I will turn it over to Chairman of the Board of Trust, Bruce Evans.
let me unmute. Oh, let me start again. Thank you very much, Ben. That was just a terrific resolution by the Faculty Senate. And what I'd like to start out in a similar vein. It's just a pleasure to join everyone, members of USAC, all of Vanderbilt staff, and members of this special assembly here today. Over the last year, each of our staff members has done so much to advance our university's operations, traditions, and mission during this historic year. And your hard work and determination has allowed Vanderbilt to continue to foster learning, discovery, and camaraderie at a time when such values held particular importance and continue to hold particular importance. Last month, thinking about the year that's nearing its end, Vanderbilt's Board of Trust established a resolution in appreciation of your efforts and the resilience that you've shown at every turn over the course of this difficult year. So I'm honored now to share the words of the following resolution, which was in appreciation of Vanderbilt staff members and postdoctoral fellows. And it was approved and adopted on April 30, 2021 by the Vanderbilt University Board of Trust. And here's how it goes. Whereas Vanderbilt staff members and postdoctoral fellows have made significant contributions during an unprecedented year within the university's history. Whereas they have demonstrated immense resilience, whether performing essential duties on campus or finding new ways to support our academic mission remotely. Whereas they have contributed significantly to university dialogues and actions around equity, diversity, and inclusion. Whereas they have worked tirelessly to support world-class research and an unerring commitment to residential education. Whereas they have found new ways to provide resources for our students, training for our faculty, and hope for the future of our university. Whereas in the face of difficult balances, they have reinforced their commitment to the Vanderbilt community and all within it. Whereas they have come together in the spirit of one Vanderbilt to serve as a model of unified purpose and sacrifice that is unique in higher education. Be it resolved that the Board of Trust expresses its deepest and most sincere gratitude to each and every Vanderbilt staff member and postdoctoral fellow for their hard work, adaptation, and compassion during a year that has defined and advanced our ability to persevere. Thank you once again to everyone. And now I'd like to turn it back over to Chancellor Diermeier. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce, for being here today and sharing the Board of Trust's deep appreciation of the staff at Vanderbilt. I now have the great honor of presenting 5 awards to several exceptional individuals and teams. The individuals receiving these awards are representative of many of the individuals in the Vanderbilt community who continue to further the university's mission day in and day out. First, I will present 3 new staff awards. Then Dr. Andrea Churchill, Vice Chancellor for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, and Chief Diversity Officer of the university will present the Diversity Leadership Award. And finally, I will present the year's Commodore Award recipients. We will start with a new award, the Early Impact Award. Newer staff members serve as vital members of the Vanderbilt community. They offer a fresh perspective, energy, and bring new potential to the university. The Early Impact Award recognizes a full-time staff member who has worked at Vanderbilt University for a minimum of 1 year, but less than 5 years, and who has exhibited excellent performance and promise for future growth in their respective fields, exemplify professionalism, and have made a significant contribution as a junior staff member here at Vanderbilt. The winner receives a prize of $2,500 and an engraved award. Today, we have two winners for this award. First, Bill Burgess, Assistive Technology Specialist, Student Access. As an assistive technology specialist, Bill uses different technologies to provide access and assistance to students with varying disabilities. When Vanderbilt switched to remote learning in March of 2020, he and his work was integral to facilitating the transition for deaf and hard of hearing students and others whose learning was particularly impacted. He rapidly coordinated extensive services and trained faculty, staff, and students on new assistive technologies. During the spring 2021 semester, Bill coordinated a pilot program that increased communication access for deaf and hard of hearing outside the classroom, such as during mealtime, group meetings, or club events. He proudly works with faculty and staff to ensure students have equal and effective access across their learning environment and regularly expands his outreach far beyond his basic job description. With Bill's commitment and expertise, we can use technology to unite us in becoming one Vanderbilt. Congratulations, Bill. The second winner of the Early Impact Award is William G. Hansen, Administrative Assistant 3, Health Sciences Education. Since the day he joined Vanderbilt in 2019, Will's presence has consistently made the Office of Medical Student Affairs a great place to work. His outstanding professionalism, radiant kindness, and good humor impact the students, faculty, and staff he supports every day. As a career Army veteran, he brings an exceptional personal work ethic and embodies the spirit of teamwork. At the onset of COVID-19, Will recognized the need for one of the assistants to stay behind in the office to provide on-site service. He not only did this, but made significant improvements and left a lasting impression and impact. In the words of his supervisors, Will is absolutely integral to the mission of the School of Medicine, supporting behind-the-scenes efforts and acting as a frontline employee. It is in his DNA to be generous with all of us and with his time, and Vanderbilt is a better place for him being here. Congratulations, Will. Now, I present the Mentorship Excellence Award. This new award is an example of one of our greatest assets here at Vanderbilt, how we lift one another up. It reflects the heart of our mission to provide opportunities for all to learn and reach their full potential. The Mentorship Excellence Award goes to a full-time staff member who has been a role model, someone who inspires colleagues and promotes professional development, demonstrates excellence in mentoring, and fosters greater individual contributions or team contributions. The winner will receive a $2,500 prize and an engraved award. Our first time ever Mentorship Excellence Award goes to Ali Sullivan, Executive Director of Business Operations Facilities. Ali provides thoughtful leadership while demonstrating excellent productivity from her team. In addition to inspiring her team to high levels of service by her own expectation and example, she encourages them to pursue broad educational and professional development opportunities. One report of hers has earned an MBA under her leadership. She understands the unique skills offered by all team members and is always willing to listen to them, develop their ideas and goals, and work to make these particular ideas and goals a reality within the context of their lives. To quote one of her direct reports, "Personally, I've never felt so supported and appreciated for my efforts. My team's work is regularly elevated to senior leadership, and I feel empowered like never before. She truly makes me feel like I can accomplish anything." Congratulations, Ali. The last of our awards in this section is the One Vanderbilt Excellence Award. Collaboration is an abiding value here at Vanderbilt. It makes our academic community truly unique and directly leads to our successes, such as we've witnessed during the past year. And we model our collaborative spirit as we foster an environment where we educated the leaders needed for tomorrow. The One Vanderbilt Excellence Award goes to staff members who demonstrate exceptional collaboration and are role models for our entire community. It is awarded to a full-time staff team, department, or group that has demonstrated collaborative excellence and worked across the university on a project, effort, or initiative that advances Vanderbilt's mission. Select team members will each receive $1,000 and an engraved award. And today, we've selected 2 winning teams for the One Vanderbilt Award. I will name each team as well as its members. The first team, Housekeeping Services Planned Operations. The first member is Marina Bastarovic. Then we have Helga Eubanks, Erica M. Foster, Ricky Hughes, Anne Longhurst, Latika L. Mitchell, Beatrice R. Nolan, Chris Redden, Katisha S. Rowland, Leo Squera, Mamant Tabur, and Hubert E. Woods. Since the first days of the pandemic, the housekeeping services supervisors within planned operations have gone to great lengths to protect the Vanderbilt community. They reported back to campus, working rigorously in classrooms and other spaces during a time when many details about the virus were still unknown. In addition, they performed work far beyond their standard duties, including helping to pack up students' belongings in March of 2020 and turning over the rooms reserved for students in isolation and quarantine. At every time, the housekeeping services team exemplified teamwork and compassion, whether by helping one another, personal challenges that all of us went through, and of course these teammates went through as well, or by working together to formulate new cleaning procedures to protect our community's well-being. Congratulations, everyone. The second group to win a One Vanderbilt Excellence Award includes team members from the residential experience. They are Courtney Berry, Daniel Coradazzi, Evan Cosgrove, Nadine De La Rosa, Olivia Farley, Michael Jones, Leslie Lemus, Lauren Moon, R.C. Stabiel, Lauren Tillman, Carrie Turney, and Jorge Wellman. This group in O'Hare serves as primary responders for on-campus student issues. Naturally, the pandemic substantially increased their workload, but it also led to new challenges, from collecting countless leftover student belongings to expanding collaboration with campus partners to providing support for student mental health. The group consistently responded with empathy and provided clear direction and amid seemingly endless complexities and demands. Their work required them to be flexible and supportive of one another, caring for each member of the team so that they could in turn care for our entire community and their own families. This group represents the institutional commitment to residential learning at its finest, and their innumerable collaborative efforts enabled our ability to support and empower our students during a pandemic. Thank you and congratulations. And now I turn it over to Dr. Churchwell to present the Diversity Leadership Award.
Thank you, Chancellor Diermeier. And thank you for your partnership in equity, diversity, and inclusion here at Vanderbilt University. As a university, Vanderbilt has made significant gains in the past year, which includes a number of projects and events. Number one, the development of an ad hoc equity, diversity, and inclusion committee of the Board of Trusts. Number two, the release of an in-depth report on equity, diversity, and inclusion called the Self-Study, done in 2019-2020. And increased investments for diverse students, faculty, and staff recruitment, promotion, and support. We have hosted symposiums with Vanderbilt faculty members, staff, and students, along with prominent thought leaders on critical topics that challenge and affect all of us. Vanderbilt has increased partnerships in the Nashville community, such as the National Museum of African American Music. This work focused on diversity and inclusion is critical, not only for our campus, but society at large during these painfully turbulent and trying times with wide-ranging social injustice evident. In equity, diversity, and inclusion, we are following Chancellor Diermeier's approach to do more faster. As such, I'm thrilled to recognize staff who embody this commitment. They have made exemplary contributions in developing a culturally diverse and welcoming university community, reflective of inclusive excellence. This year's two recipients receive awards of $2,500 and an engraved Galileo Award. Our first award goes to Midori Lockett, Chief Impact Officer for Government and Community Relations. Midori is responsible for leading the Community Impact Fund program, which provides grant funding to 80+ not-for-profit organizations annually. Through relationship building and collective action efforts, Midori has substantially enhanced the university's community engagement with organizations serving diverse identity groups and under-resourced areas in Nashville. Since she assumed this role in 2015, the allocation of funds budget directed to diverse organizations has risen from 9% to 25%. Midori initiated a partnership between the Office of Community Relations and the Peabody College of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion to sponsor a virtual panel last fall of the historical fight for Black women's suffrage. She has a long history of promoting women's professional development through her leadership background with CABLE, a Tennessee organization that works to connect women and opportunity, where her efforts directly led to increased recruitment of Black and Latinx women to this organization. On our campus in Nashville and beyond, Midori is committed to deepening engagement with diverse communities with ideals of equity and inclusion at the top of her mind. Congratulations, Midori. The next winner is Antonio Robinson, Project Manager, Information Technology. During his 3.5 years in the VUIT Project Manager office, Antonio has worked tirelessly to promote equity, diversity, and inclusion across the Vanderbilt community and campus. His leadership and service spans countless campus groups, including the University Diversity Council and the Association of Vanderbilt Black Faculty and Staff. He also serves as a board member of the VUIT's Diversity Advisory Board, known as IDAB, where he chairs the Attract Diversity Committee and is passionate about recruiting and retaining diverse talent. As one of his nominators put it, Antonio came to Vanderbilt not only to excel in his project manager role, but to contribute to his passion and organization and leadership talents to advancing equity, diversity, and inclusion at large at this university. We're so proud to honor you today, Antonio. I want to say congratulations again to both of these honorees. I will now hand the baton back to Chancellor Diermeier.
Thank you, Dr. Churchwell, and congratulations to the Diversity Leadership Award winners. And now, finally, it is my honor to present the Vanderbilt University Commodore Award, the flagship award of overall excellence for university staff. The Commodore Award is presented to full-time staff members, one to hourly employees and one to salaried employees, who have made significant contributions to Vanderbilt University's pursuit of excellence in education, research, and community service. And at least one of the following ways: providing overall performance and accomplishments that consistently far exceed performance expectations, demonstrating a high level of service dedication, conscientiousness, compassion, and applied skill, handling high impact or critical situations with important consequences for the department, Vanderbilt University, or the community, or developing or improving processes for significant productivity and or cost savings. Winners receive an award of $5,000 and an engraved crystal bowl. I'm now proud to announce this year's 2 winners of the Commodore Award. First, Valeria Y. Cobb, assistant teacher at the Susan Gray School. Valeria has been a passionate and dedicated assistant teacher at the Susan Gray School for more than 13 years, consistently going above and beyond. She volunteers for weekend events, represents the school at the Skatebite Committee for Children with Special Needs, provides exceptional enrichment activities for autistic students, and delivers multilingual services for Spanish-speaking families. A mother of young children herself, she puts parents at ease when they first enroll their children at the school. Valeria is a model colleague and highly respected mentor for new staff, and she regularly contributes ideas to improve the strategic operation of the school. She exemplifies professionalism and integrity in a job where what teachers do for children every day is often overlooked. Congratulations, Valeria. The second winner of the Commodore Award is Randall P. Tarkington, Senior Director of Residential Experience in the Office of Housing and Residential Experience. Throughout nearly 2 decades of service at Vanderbilt, Randy has been providing exceptional service and leadership to the residential education experience team, where he drives Vanderbilt's mission to deliver an empowering residential education. An employee who truly lives the Vanderbilt way, he's a proud community member who goes beyond the call of duty to support students. His deep understanding of student life has had an enormous impact on strategic and operational planning for the Office of Housing and Residential Experience and Student Care Network, because his contributions are informed by our students' aspirations, stressors, and cultures. Randy mentors a large network of staff, giving personalized attention to their professional development and their career goals, validating their identities and experiences, and leading them to internal advancement opportunities. Beloved by students, parents, and families, his talents were in high demand this year as he provided critical leadership in the university's ability to serve students in person throughout the pandemic. Congratulations, Randy. And congratulations to all our winners today. It has been my pleasure to present these awards and to personally recognize your contributions and commitment to Vanderbilt. Again, these staff members are examples of the entire community here at Vanderbilt. Remarkably talented, collaborative, dedicated to excellence and to our mission here at Vanderbilt. Simply the best. Thank you again. And now I will hand the proceedings back over to Ed Kopstein.
Thank you, Chancellor Diermeier, and thank you to all of our speakers today. I'd also like to congratulate the winners of today's awards. Your achievements are remarkable, and they reflect not only what our staff have done this year and throughout their careers, but also the great work that lies ahead. There is so much to celebrate with Vanderbilt's staff. I'm also pleased to invite everyone to our fall staff assembly, where we'll present 6 additional new awards, including awards for community impact, professional excellence, innovation excellence, research excellence, student impact, and leadership excellence. As we wrap up today, I encourage all of you to fill out the event survey you'll see in the chat. We'll also provide a recording of today's event for any of our colleagues who weren't able to join us live. Thank you again to everyone for joining us. Have a wonderful summer and anchor down.